Hi cats and kittens, it's Amy from Savor, Salvage, Scent, and I hope this finds you well. For those of you who are new to the channel, this mostly focuses on all things fragrance related with an occasional other DIY or creative project. And for those of you returning, thanks so much for being here. You're the best. If you haven't yet, I hope you'll consider clicking the red subscribe button so that we can stay in touch and that I get to know you better. I always encourage you to leave thoughts, ideas, questions in the comments below. And for those of you returning, please continue. Like, you have inspired me so much over the last year or two. So thank you so much. If you haven't, I also hope you'll consider giving this video a thumbs up because it helps my channel grow. So this is part 6 of a 6-part series, the last installation of scents that make me feel especially hopeful or happy. I found in doing this series that the majority of the scents that I collect actually are more comforting, things that like ambers, gourmands, incense scents. I love all of those. And so I thought I would give a little more attention to some of the scents I don't wear quite as much or talk about quite as much or focus on quite as much, but that I think are really interesting and that make me feel really energized or happy. So this last video will focus on scents that I find to be watery or ozonic, so smelling like either rain or moist air or the ocean. For those of you who haven't listened to the channel, you won't know that this is not my bag. So when scents started to be really marketed clearly as unisex in, like, let's say the 70s and 80s, scents that I'm thinking about are things like CK1 and B. A scent that I used to actually love and wear, but no longer for some reason tolerate, Issey Miyake, the original. Scents around that time started to be marketed as clean or watery. I find that often I don't get along with those scents. I'm not sure if it's my body chemistry. In the case of Issey Miyake, maybe it's just that I wore it for too long, but they started to smell really screechy to me. And, you know, the company, what is it? IFF. Is it International Flavors and Fragrances? Correct me if I'm wrong. They really influence the scent of common day household products and vice versa. Sometimes perfumes influence what those products become. Something happened around the 80s, 90s, where especially in American perfumery, we started to interpret clean or fresh as, to me, things that smell like a dryer sheet. And for some reason, I just don't get along with them. So this is kind of weird and a special video for me because forced to kind of look at this thing, and I was like, oh, there are 6 scents that I find to be really ozonic or fresh, to smell like water, that I really, really love. Don't ask me why these are exceptions to my rules, but they are, and I love them. So I thought I'd share them with you. First is something I've been wearing for decades now. God, has it been decades? Has it been 20 years? Maybe so. If not, 10 or 15. Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. This is probably my 2nd or 3rd bottle. This, a lot of people say, compares to Narciso Rodriguez's one of his first musks, but I just love this thing. I think it is so beautiful. It's, I don't know why, affordable. And it is, to me, just, I don't know many people that don't love this. It is such a gorgeous perfume. Whether you love musk or not, this has, it definitely has a light musk thing going on, but I find a lot of people who don't love musk love this. And one of the things that surprises me about this is, while it's really light smelling to me, people always compliment me and smell it. I mean, like, I might have told the story before, but one time with masks on, I'd walked to my friend's house last year, and I was a good 8 feet from her probably. And she was like, man, you smell great. I was like, what? I couldn't believe she could smell it, but almost every time I wear Lovely, I get a compliment on it. I just gave this as a gift to my sister. It smells so good on her. Oh my gosh. The few times she's been around me wearing it since, I'm like, oh, you smell amazing. So Lovely. And not only does it smell to me kind of like water and air, I love this to wear around water. I know that's weird, but if I'm going to the pool or the lake, I just love the way it blends with those smells. It's so beautiful. So Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker, to me, smells kind of like water and ozonic. Another oldie, sadly, this is discontinued. It can still be found though. This is Gucci Eau de Parfum II. II. I don't know why they got rid of this. This is my second bottle, and I'm just reluctant to wear it much, but this to me, again, is a lighter, muskier scent. It does have some fruit and floral, but for some reason, it just smells like crisp water to me. It smells like a lake. I don't know. It smells so nice. And it's a winner. I know a lot of people that love it. This is one of those, I have no idea why they discontinued it. I don't think it was based on lack of popularity, but Gucci II, fabulous, beautiful. I've been wearing this for 20 years. Some newer things to me, 4 new ones. So I have 6 in total. 2 I've worn for years and 4 are relatively new. This was a total shock. So I love the house called Royal Apothic. They make one of my top 10s, which is what they call their Noble Carnation scent. It is one of the most lush, beautiful, gourmand carnations. It's gorgeous. So I saw this bottle at TJ Maxx of all places, and made by them. And I like this series. It's called Heritage. They, I think, run around $40 online, but I found this for, I think, $10 or $11 at TJ Maxx, and it's called Sea Salt. I wasn't even going to smell it at first because usually things that are called sea anything, I just hate the smell of, frankly. Don't ask me why I love this thing. It absolutely smells like a combination of seawater, like being at the beach, and fresh laundry. But it doesn't have that screechy quality that I feel like often that the chemical interpretations of that have. And so affordable, especially if you can find it at TJ Maxx. Again, I think it was $11, but online even it's $40. And this is a big bottle. It's just beautiful. I love wearing this on my person, but this would also be phenomenal sheet spray if you were rolling in it. Beautiful. So Royal Apothic's Sea Salt, gorgeous thing. Can't believe I'm in love with it, honestly. This is another really, really affordable scent that I think is so cool. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about it. In fact, I'm going to spray it right now. This is called Gardenia Palm, and it is by Good Chemistry, which is a line that a lot of people know because they sell things in Target. And you can find this. I found this at TJ Maxx. I thought this would smell like gardenia. I don't really get gardenia. I do get palm. I get like, you know, fresh, lush, thick, succulent almost. But more than anything, I get ocean, air, and water. So to me, this really does smell kind of like you're at the beach, but you're also getting some greens at the beach too. The palm thing does work. But I don't get gardenia, but I absolutely get the palm, the greens, and I get the ocean, and it really does smell like it. Doesn't smell like a chemical interpretation of it to me. I love it. So Gardenia Palm, really cool. 2 more. My favorite niche small house is Solstice Scents. They're phenomenal. They're out of Florida. The people that own the house and the creators, her name's Angela St. John, and she's a magician. This is called After the Rain. This is an oil, and I think it runs about like $16 or $18. And then I think depending on the time of year, sometimes they have the oil or not, usually in the spring and summer. So if they don't have it today, they will have it eventually, I bet. And then they probably have a perfume interpretation too. They usually run $80 to $100. But this little vial of oil is so good. This is truly, it smells like what it's called, After the Rain. So you not only get like that moist air, but you get, I think, what's called petrichor, which is the smell of when warm air first hits the ground, hits pavement, hits ground, hits soil. You get all of that. It smells like that musky but great moist air right after there's been a storm, particularly. That is what this smells like. It's so interesting. This does energize me because it smells like spring or summer, but it's right on the edge of comforting because it has that, you know, the air when it's kind of blue or almost gray right after a storm. That's what this feels like. So After the Rain by Solstice Scents. Really, really cool. Last but not least, and sadly, I think this was just discontinued, but sometimes they bring their scents back. This is a perfume oil by the house Sucreabeille. Another independent house that is really, really interesting, makes great things. This was a surprise to me because I sometimes struggle with rose scents. Some of them will smell way too dated for me, or let's see, sometimes rose can even smell a little screechy, but when it's done right, or when I think it's done right, I love it. This is called Pacific Rose, and I just got this as a small oil thinking, oh, I might or might not like it, and I love it. It's such an interesting rose. And to me, it's because it's not only rose, but it smells like the Pacific. It really does smell like those areas along, I'm thinking California, Oregon, Washington, where you'll actually see like wild rose along the coastline. You get both the rose, but you get that ozonic watery air too. And it's really interesting. This is one, I don't think it could be a signature scent. It's very unique and smells so much like that time of year. But to me, when you're in that mindset and want to feel that way, almost like you've traveled, and or if it's in the spring or summer, this is phenomenal. So Pacific Rose by Sucreabeille. So that was, let's see, 6 scents that I think smell like the ocean or ozonic or moist air that really have like an energizing or uplifting effect. So I've admitted my bias or lack of love of ozonic and watery or fresh scents. Please tell me, where am I wrong? What are the ones that you think I'm crazy that I need to look back into, or that you just adore? You don't care what I think, you adore them. I want to hear about it. Hope you're all well. Talk soon. Bye.